Titles you should play. Welcome to the LD47 edition of Titles You Should Play, where I highlight cool titles I played during the Ludum Dare event and tell you why I love them. A few weeks ago, a friend of mine tried to explain to me how game jam titles aren't real games as they couldn't possibly amount to a complete vision. While I don't think it possible to change his mind, let's try to give him a few exceptions to his rule. The game in the background is Tori's beautiful experience titled The Little Walk, and while there is not much gameplay to talk about here, the visuals are incredibly gorgeous and just make for a tranquil atmosphere to talk in. But now, without further ado, let's jump right into the other games.
I don't know if you can hear me if you're awake, but I just figured that whatever,
Oof, something to tell you from Blind Lemon Games is a psychedelic trip and a half. The eerie settings, minimalistic gameplay mechanics, masterfully used glitchy visuals and creepy but wonderful voice acting and music make for an immersive yet uneasy and constricted experience. As far as I could figure it out, you play as a bedridden coma patient trying his very best to travel back to reality. Smarter players than me will find subtle hints everywhere, I'm sure, but the absolute creepy highlight will not be missed by anybody.
And that is why whenever I want you, all I have to do, dream, dream, dream.
The game uses usually unwanted video glitches to its full advantage to make you dizzy while you try desperately to escape the endless torture that is the dreamscape prison you're locked in. Those dream sequences are interwoven with some static scenes where the player is instructed to keep breathing while listening to guests speak, making for a stark contrast not only gameplay-wise constantly changing between hectic first-person saturated video mode to calm and soft-focused visuals, but also in terms of narrative as it conveys the restrictiveness of open space only to counteract with the vagueness within closed space. Enough hipster talk, it's a trippy game. Please play, okay? The resource management game Shadow of Archimedes, from the same people that made it to my highlights with their game Planet Sitter last LD, will keep you on your toes as you repeatedly walk around the dead planet trying to neither be killed by heat stroke nor by hypothermia. As easily manageable as the game may look, complexity in this game comes from the limited timeframes the player is allowed to build or trade resources in, but not only is the temperature mechanic a balancing act, the resource gathering too will probably take a few minutes to figure out what is needed to actually make all mountains go party mode. The art style in this is absolutely amazing. Due to the strictly monochrome game world elements, the light of the sun will not only be easily identifiable, but also make the game board gradually light up in an incredibly visually satisfying way. Also, the soundtrack is fucking amazing and is the final ingredient to make the whole world be an actually living thing. Which is of course ironic because the planet as well. Dead. The planet Archimedes is dead. Give it a try and save your world. Need More Space is another game where you walk around a small globe to collect things. Its name is inspired by the team's huge number of members. Just kidding. This is a browser game, yes browser game, where you go planet hopping in search for green crystals while closely watching your hydration and hunger bar to not die stranded on an alien world. Similar to the game before, it too has a temperature mechanic. But this time around, it isn't nearly as deadly, but rather can be used to your own advantage in later levels. Greenish brown chicken alien will chase you down, but if you can trick them to come out to the hotter region of the planet, they will be literally cooked almost instantly and maybe used as sustenance. The cute aesthetics and especially the high quality assets really makes one wonder if it wouldn't be nice to stop being a solo dev at least for Ludum Dare. Not to say that it would be much easier, on the contrary, it's fairly easy to imagine a bigger team requiring a lot of coordination skills and motivated drive from every single person, but the resulting game just leaves me speechless. Absolutely worth a try for everyone hungering for more space. Loop Frogs takes the theme to a whole new level with its intriguing looping mechanic. Loop Frogs takes the theme to a whole new level with its intriguing looping mechanic. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of pixel art nor of platformers. I know, shocking, but if done right, like Super Doken and Scary Ass did, I will play the game to the end and back. You play two frogs in this game which couldn't be more different from one another. The down-to-earth Charmander frog can't jump too high, he's just a simple frog trying to get by. But Green Frog, oh boy, is he a different story entirely. He can double jump really high, he can be mounted, and he's basically forever stuck in a personal time loop, which makes it hard for him to find friends patient enough to just hear his ideas out. But he did find the Orange Toad, and both of them try to complement each other's shortcomings. What a wonderful story. The game makes for some excellent minutes of entertaining gameplay while still being challenging enough to be taken seriously. Maybe the real frogs are the friends we made along the way. Play and find out. Animal_Valley_V2080 is a masterpiece. From the little fact that the quests are eliminated from the get-go as being only there to waste your time, to the social commentary about escapism in a world that could really use your help before it's too late, to the extreme contrast between the dark, almost unlivable planet and the happy place of video games inspired by Happy franchise of Japanese game company. Every little detail just works, in the words of Todd Howard. You play as a chibi stylized doggy, trying to get enough money to get out of debt. Your friends will give you some opportunities to make a bit of change. Can you get enough money to live in Animal Valley forever? This game is actually my favorite so far. What can I say, I'm a sucker for contrast. Go play it and tell me what you think. Okay, finally done. Doing it this way was way more challenging than I first anticipated, but I hope it's worth it in the end. As always, if you couldn't find your turtle, don't be sad. This is only the first episode and there will be many more, or like at least 2 more, I guess. If you want your game seen by me, just write a comment below the video or blog post depending on where you see this video. Just don't be desperate about it. I assure you I will play every game of every creator I interact with. Don't be desperate about it. Ludum Dare is such a great thing for me, and I hope I can at least to some extent give back the gratitude I feel. Thanks, friend. Until the next episode. Bye!